2015 has been a year full of milestones for ARTV, and it's all thanks to you guys, all of the old viewers and the new viewers alike, everybody who has shared out this channel. We've seen a lot of recognition. I've gotten a lot of experiences this year that I just never thought I'd be able to have, interacting with other YouTubers, collaborating, being on Watch Mojo, crossing over the 20,000 subscriber mark, which is insane to me because just last year on my birthday, December 17th, that was 10 months ago, a little over 10 months ago, I believe, or a little less than 10 months actually, we crossed over the 10,000 subscriber mark and we're already at 22,000. So I just want to say a simple thank you for the fact that you've stuck with me for this long and for the fact that you're here for my 500th review. I never thought that I'd make it this far. This is absolutely insane. I stuck with it. I'm proud of myself for doing so, for not really giving up, and I think that it's occasionally okay to pat yourself on the back. 500 album reviews. Shout out to Jeff Emerson for keeping up with the playlist over the years and just updating it so that we actually knew when we were getting to this number and so I could be prepared to make this review special for you guys. I knew in the back of my mind what I wanted it to be, but I wasn't sure if it was going to coincide with the timing and everything, and it worked out perfectly. I'm bringing you an album review from my favorite band, Green Day, one that you have been requesting for so long, pretty much since I started the channel, and some of you guys found out that Green Day were a band that I love. I am reviewing Warning, the 2000 record that came out 15 years ago to the day. I timed it perfectly. 15 years ago, October 3rd, 2000, Green Day released their album Warning, and it was just at the time met with kind of lukewarm reception, and I want to tell you guys about why this is one of Green Day's best albums and one that you don't want to sleep on for much longer. Warning is an incredibly overlooked album that touches on everything from politics, religion, trends, and death, on an album that embraced both the pop and punk sides of their tendencies without going full-on pop punk. Green Day showed growth in their connectivity and tightness and an ability to play together as a band, crafting genuinely entertaining songs full of guitar solos, steady kicking drum rhythms, thumping bass, and more of Billie Joe Armstrong's classic snarl and sarcastic personality. Also noteworthy here are Armstrong's lyrics, which definitely showed a new direction on some of these tunes, along with a distaste for government and authority on powerhouse moments like the title track and Minority. Let's go ahead and discuss some of these songs, starting with the ever-satisfying one of my all-time favorite Green Day songs, Blood, Sex, and Booze, which basically sees lead frontman Billie Joe Armstrong pleading for his vices to be satisfied. Don't make me beg for my blood, sex, and booze, he's saying on this track. And I think part of the song's appeal is the fact that he actually is begging, even though he's saying, don't make me beg. He really is desperate for these three things that are definitely major aspects of his life to be fulfilled and satisfied. And it's interesting to look back at it kind of from a modern perspective. It's 2015, we're looking back 15 years, and we saw that Billie Joe Armstrong had these alcoholic tendencies, and I don't know, it's just kind of an interesting reflection to see where he's at now, being completely sober. The track Castaway shows up with some really fun and rollicking guitar moments, and then Green Day really showing off their knack for writing a strong hook on this track. Also, some of my favorite drum moments appear here. It's not like it's anything insane, but compliments to Trey Cool for just keeping it going. There's some pounding moments that get a little bit more thunderous, and then some lighter moments. It just shows a nice attack and restraint approach to really writing this song, and it's just a fun song. It's one of my favorites on this record that has definitely stood the test of time. Now, I know I said Blood, Sex, and Booze is one of my all-time favorite Green Day songs, but I think that Waiting is a track that ranks even higher on that listing. It's one of those timeless tracks that never grows old to me, even with hundreds of listens really at this point. The acoustic guitar kicks off this track. I love that before the rest of the band really just breaks in, helps take this song to full speed and acceleration. It's one of those songs where it sees Billie Joe Armstrong writing from a different perspective. He's talking about never being too old to come into your own and essentially seize the day. And I love that. He's saying that, you know, you're gonna come into your prime. Maybe you don't have everything figured out or mapped out to a scientific chart or anything like that. I know that I don't. And I think in a sense that's comforting to me because I see others that struggled with the same kind of thoughts and that sort of thing. And maybe I don't have everything together, maybe my life isn't together, what am I gonna do? But you can't spend too much time worrying about those sort of things because if you're like me, you put in the work, you know that you've got something that you love, you're destined for anything at all. I have to compliment the ever-lovely track Misery, which was probably a big risk for the band to put out at the time, including a song so different from their punk rock roots. It reminds me a little bit of the track Little Girl from 21st Century Breakdown, at least in terms of its guitar structure here on this track, and on Misery, you're going to hear everything from a string section to a pounding drum that sounds like it's from a marching band or something like that, and a few other surprisingly awesome instrumental moments that I'm not going to spoil for you just in case you've yet to hear Warning. Songs like Misery show a turning point in Green Day's career because Billy Joe Armstrong starts to opt to write songs not about himself really, but about fictional characters, painting a portrait with his mind, with these scenes that are happening, and it's not necessarily all about him anymore. It sounds a little bit familiar, doesn't it? Does it sound maybe like something he explored even more on an album that came out in 2004? There's a few moments like Hold On that I'm just a bit indifferent to at this point, especially after I've heard them so many times. The opening harmonica has just never really done anything for me, and especially whenever it pops up again at the end of the verses. Everything down to the bass line and Billy's vocals on this track just feels a bit like Green Day on autopilot, so I'm not too huge on it. Then of course you've got the ever popular staples like the Down with Authority styled Minority and the ever thought-provoking track Macy's Day Parade. I actually remember the first time that I heard either of those songs. I used to watch the channel Fuse all the time. They were always showing music videos. It was whenever it was in its prime, around 2005, my favorite year, just because that's the year that I fell in love with and got into music, and the year that really just kind of shaped who I am now. But I remember watching a programming block called Loaded, where they would take a half an hour's worth of music videos from a particular band or artist and just show music videos from them. And Loaded one day showcased Green Day and some of their older stuff, and they played Macy's Day Parade and Minority back to back. And I was kind of blown away, especially by Macy's Day Parade, because I had never seen the band tackle a more serious subject, I guess, like this. I expected it to be a more upbeat, and I just saw a darker song that was definitely driven by an acoustic guitar and a black and white music video. And granted, I didn't really fully understand all of the questions of life, purpose, and eventual death being discussed at the time, but I've really come to appreciate it more and more as the years fly by. 15 fucking years. Son of a bitch, I am getting old. From the apathy of Jackass to the jittery goodness of Church on Sunday, Warning has solidified its place as one of my favorite Green Day albums. And yes, of course, I love the title track as well. How could you forget that matching guitar and bass combo? I knew I'd catch hell if I didn't mention it though. You guys are persistent. If you haven't heard the album yet, there's a link to stream it down below. Don't waste any more time. Go hear it for yourself right now, especially if you're a fan of Green Day's other works. Thank you so much again for taking me to 500 reviews. It wouldn't be possible for me to continue doing this without the support of you guys. So thanks so much for watching. For Warning, I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. 500 reviews in the can. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button on this video, and I wanted to run something by you guys. If you've watched till the end of the video, let me know what you think about this. I'm thinking about in October making a lot of the month dedicated to just kind of reviewing albums that I've never touched on before, and it doesn't really matter what time period they come from. Some of them will be redemption reviews, where I basically hate my original review that I did like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and I want to kind of make the original unlisted and put up a new review that actually showcases my thoughts instead of me just rambling on and on about, well, this track was good, this is my favorite, this is my least favorite. I'm sorry that you guys had to sit through that, so if you want to see more redemption reviews and more just throwback reviews or just albums that I didn't get to in the month of October just because there's not a heavy release schedule, let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Again, thank you for watching. You can check out my second channel here or the last video that I did on this channel right there. Other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.